might not realize this, but there's a huge discrepancy between the number of deaf people and the number of trained, certified interpreters in Michigan.
And it's not a question of where the jobs are, it's a question of who can fill them. This is simply a career that doesn't really seem to be on most people's radar.
You got it. But Baker College in Muskegon offers an interpreter training program. Today, their department chair, Valerie Borma, is here along with Amy Van Ort, a certified interpreter, and Gina Dascola, a student of the program. Ladies, let's start by talking about what's the difference between an interpreter and a translator. Kind of set the stage for us, Valerie.
Sure. Oftentimes, translators will work in written form, and it often is one word for one word equivalency. Interpreters, however, we move from English to ASL, which is a concept-based language. So it isn't signing English. Some people do that, but you also have to be able to do the American Sign Language grammar as well, which is interesting. It has roots in French, so some of the adjectives and pronouns are a little bit out of order.
So you mentioned that there's a big discrepancy between how many interpreters are needed and how many there actually are. So Baker College actually has a program. Can you tell us a little bit about that program?
Sure. We are a career college, the largest nonprofit in Michigan. We have a 2-year program. It's full-time, year-round, which includes summers, which not all students love, but we do, so it's
Gets
great.
you through there quicker.
Yeah, yep, and we get them trained and ready to go. We run on quarters, so 10-week segments. We have 2-week breaks here, 4-week breaks there, and we generally start out with 1 full year of language, and the students get the basic languages foundation that they need to then move to the 2nd year and start doing interpreting type work. So sometimes from the 1st year to the 2nd year is quite a jump as well, because you take the language that you have and you apply it in different ways.
Let's talk with Amy a minute. You've been through the program. You're a graduate.
Yes.
Are you employed? Is there a place to go with this? I often think, where would you work? What do you do?
There's so many different places to work. Yes, there are lots of jobs. You can work in the public schools, you can work in colleges, you can do freelance work. There's lots of traveling, lots of variety. You meet lots of different people, see lots of different situations, find out things that you don't really want to do again, find out things that you love doing and you want to do every day. It's a great profession to be in. I tell people I love what I do every day. I love what I do.
There are not many careers where you can say that.
It's a great spot to be in.
Now, we have some video we're looking at, and so you'll sit in a boardroom, you'll listen to a conversation taking place, and then you interpret it, and people can kind of join right along and see where you're going?
Yep.
Beautiful. Let's talk with Gina about the hardest part. You're currently enrolled,
Yes.
and I'm thinking, are there natural things that you as a student need to be sort of gifted in to catch on? Because I watch this and think, I don't know if I could do it.
With any language, not everyone has maybe a background or a strength in learning language. If you have that strength, ASL is something that, even though it's not like Spanish or French where it's spoken and we're used to it, ASL is another language. So if you're strong with languages, it's something that you can pick up sometimes fairly easily, but it's not for everybody.
Why did you decide it was for you?
I actually started studying it just on my own when I was younger. I also studied Japanese and Italian, so languages is one of my passions. And I found that it was just something that was so different from all the other languages because it is gestural and because of it's more concept based. It isn't word for word. And everybody can say something differently. The way that I would hear something and put it out in sign would be different the way that Amy and the way that Valerie would do it, because we're at different levels and everyone would interpret the general concept differently.
Which is also interesting, and when we were watching this video, which is on the screen right now still, I noticed how much is in the facial expression and the way that the body movements are. Granted, I do a lot of talking with my hands, but it's not purposeful in that way, which I noticed that's different than any spoken language.
Yeah, absolutely. The facial expressions are inherently part of the language itself, and without that, what you're saying with your hands won't really truly have the full meaning that you would if you left that part of the grammar out.
And if you say something with one expression and then change your expression and say the exact same thing, it can mean a whole different world.
Okay, how would you say, I love Wood TV 8?
I don't want to do that. I know. Put you on the spot here.
It's fun to watch the expressions, and as I'm thinking about this is something that someone could go back to as a second career, or it's not anything you need past history on. I'm thinking the need is immediate, and you jump right in if you have the skill.
Right. Some of our most viable candidates tend to have, like Gina was saying, a very strong mastery, specifically of English. I generally recommend folks who read voraciously, who have large vocabularies already in English, because then it's more easy to move between languages. So if you enjoy reading, like I said, a variety of different things, word games, things of that nature, and you tend to think more in pictures. For example, have you ever heard a radio announcer and then saw a picture of him and think, that's not what he's supposed to look like? And so if you think in pictures and you have that strong English foundation, you could potentially do very well.
All right, this sounds pretty exciting.
A great program.
It's the coolest job ever.
It really is. And I have to say, Baker College does a great job. My sister is actually a graduate of your PTA program.
Oh, great.
There, and is working in West Michigan and very successful. So,
and if someone's interested, how can they find out more or get involved in your program?
Well, I think you have the website linked up, as well as the phone number to admissions. People are more than welcome to call and talk to me. I have all kinds of information to share.
Wonderful.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. What an exciting career opportunity for people right here in West Michigan. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good job.
This is 8 West.